Hey guys, and welcome to the second day of the July Scrapathon. So today I will be working with the stash kit that I shared yesterday, the one based on the swag bag by Paper Issues. And this is the second layout I actually made with this kit. The first one will be posted tomorrow. So I had a lot of birthday themed elements in this kit, and I also I had this picture of me. It's a selfie, and it was during my birthday party that I had, and it was taken in the bathroom when we were getting ready with some friends. And I did take pictures elsewhere in the house throughout the party, but for some unknown reason this one was the best. Now, because the shower curtain was in the background and there was a lot of colors and there's animals on it, I had to turn it into black and white so I could work with it better. And I also knew I wanted to use a lot of colors on here that were not included in the picture, so I just turned it to black and white. So anyway, back to the process now. So I cut that paper that's from Amy Tangerine, and I had the reds and a bit of the oranges, and I cut it so you could see the red parts because I kind of wanted to focus on the reds in this kit and some oranges, of course. So I decided I'm going to use a big chunk of that at the top of the paper, and I have glued it down with some double-sided tape, and I glued it down with a lot of tape and very close to the edges, and that way when I come back with some mixed media it won't seep under or the page won't curl up or anything like that. So I just made sure everything was attached as closely to the edge as possible. So then here I know I want to place my picture somewhere around there, so now I'm coming in with some layers and trying to figure out what I want to add. So I got a bunch of different patterns from the kit there. I went through all my papers and chose the ones that I thought might work on this kit. So also I didn't mention that I ripped that paper at the top, and I also distressed the edges with my scissors just to add a bit more interest and a bit more texture. So this paper here is from the Dear Lizzie Lovely Day 6x6 paper pad, and I thought that yellow would be a perfect match for my photo. And I also like the idea of using a tag behind the photo, so I have that red one there for the time being, and that is actually from IKEA. Then I also used that orange piece of paper behind my photo. That is from the Amy Tangerine +1 6x6 paper pad, and I had these two little scraps, so I'm using the one on one side and the other on the other side, and you can't even tell that it's actually two pieces. It really looks like one. And then here I cut a 3x4 card from a swag bag that's a blue color in half so I could spread it on both sides of the picture. So here I'm going to glue the edges down even further with some double-sided tape just to make sure the paint doesn't go anywhere it's not supposed to. And then I'm going to come in with some gesso and a palette knife, and I'm just going to spread it on there. Not everywhere on the paper, just to a pretty big place though, because I know I want the paint to peek out behind the photo. So that means I need a lot of space around the photo to add paint to. But I also want some place where you can see the pattern paper as it is. So anyway, I've added the gesso. It has supposedly dried, and now I'm coming back with my distress ink. So I'm using the distress ink in Abandoned Coral because it's the only kind of reddish color I have. And then I'm also going to use Spiced Marmalade, which is an orangey color, and then I'm also going to use Fossilized Amber, which is a yellowy color. And I'm going to make this watercolor background. So I'm focusing a lot on oranges, reds, and yellows. And I also have a pop of blue in my layers to kind of break that, just to add a bit of contrast and kind of break that orangey feel, because it's a bit too much and I felt like I needed another color. And I also added the Tumble Glass distress ink as well to bring in the blue into the background. So I replaced that tag because it was too dark, and I thought this orange one looked a lot better, and it has the orange, the red, and the blue in it. So yeah. Oh, I also added that prism paper behind all the layers again to kind of balance out the colors. So that one has black and yellow and blue, so it kind of breaks the the orange tones and also brings in some black that's really dominant in my black and white photo. So here I decided to go through the die cuts in the swag bag kit, and I pull out some things that I think might work on the layout. And here I went and got some foam to put behind my photo, and that's just some craft foam I've had for forever, and it doesn't have any sticky stuff on it, so I'm just going to use some tape and glue that on. Now the problem with using tape, it does not want to come off. It doesn't stick very well onto the foam, so it took me quite a long time to pull it off. So when I remember, I tried to use my wet glue there to glue foam onto pictures. Anyway, I'm also using that Yoo-Hoo wet glue because to layer these papers, because I want to be able to move them around to get them in the right spot, and the double-sided adhesive does not allow me to do that, because at least the one I'm using, as soon as you stick it down somewhere, it does not come up. So I tend to use that glue, that wet glue, that gives me a bit of leeway so I can move things around before it completely dries. And then here, I didn't like the brown twine ribbon thing that was on that tag, so I decided I was going to replace it with this red one, but that's way too thin. And then I thought maybe I could use the black one, because also the red I felt was kind of too busy. But the black twine didn't work, and then I thought maybe I could use them together to get a more thick kind of thing. Then I tried the black by itself. I didn't like that either. So I'm going to leave it there for a bit, but then I'm going to take it off. And then I thought, well, maybe the brown wasn't so bad. So I'm going to put the brown back in. And then I decided, no, I don't like the brown on this at all, because there's no brown elsewhere, and I'm using black on this layout. So I'm going to fuss with that to get it on right, and then I decide I don't like it, and I'm going to take it off. And then I thought I have some pieces of ribbon that are quite thick in some drawer somewhere, so I went and found this blue one. It worked with the colors really nicely, and it was also the right thickness, and it didn't distract too much for the photo or the paper layers that I have going. Then I don't know why I kept trying to use this black twine, it just was not working. See, that just looks, no. So I got rid of that, and then I glued everything that was not glued, and then I'm going through the embellishments from the swag bag. So I have these two blue banners that I thought will look nice on either side, because that just kind of makes it look a bit like a banner, and because this is a birthday picture, even though it doesn't really look like one, I thought that would be appropriate. I also added that pin, I think you could call it, with that has a star on the top. I'm not really sure you can see it on camera, but I added it right on the right hand of the photo between the layers. It's on top of the tag. So now I'm going to glue that down. I also added that acetate piece down there at the bottom just because it's yellow and I thought it looked okay there. And then I really wanted to use these couple of hearts that I cut out from this card here. So I have one in orange already cut out, and I'm also going to cut out the other orange ones that I have. I have 3 shades of orange and a kind of reddish orange going on. So I'm going to go ahead and fussy cut out those and see if I can try to use them. So it looked too much to use all 3 of them, so I'm gonna fuss around with where to place them for quite a while before I figure out what I'm gonna do with them, because I don't know, it looked too weird to put all 3 of those on there. So, and I also remembered I have this balloon that I really wanted to use from the swag bag. That was the whole point why I included so many birthday themed items in my kit, just because of that one balloon die cut, which if you saw the kit share, you would know that. So if you didn't see my kit share, go ahead and check it out. It was posted yesterday, and I will be working with it throughout the month, so you might want to go and see that. So then I thought maybe I could use these letters here, but they were too bold and too black, and I don't know, I just didn't like how they looked on here. So I decided I'm going to glue the whole photo cluster down, just so I can layer stuff under more with more easy. I can move things around a lot easier once that's glued down. I also glued down those 2 banners. And I'm coming back in with those hearts. I really wanted to use the hearts on this, so I'm fussing a lot with them. And I will use 1 and like a quarter of a heart at some point. So then I got these sequin stars that were also in the swag bag, and I thought they would be a perfect match to just throw kind of on the page. Then that red acetate piece I was trying to incorporate, but it was just too much. So I'm trying to figure out how to glue down this pin, and I decided I'm going to use my double-sided tape and attach it on the pin part and then stick it in, and hopefully it will glue down. And I think it worked for the most part. So still trying to figure out what to do with those hearts there. Those hearts gave me a hard time, but I really like there. I finally figured out what I'm going to do with them. I'm going to kind of use them as an extra piece in this kind of banner thing that I have going on. So I'm going to put that red one over to the left, and then I'm going to put the orange one to the right, and you can barely see it once I trim it off the edge, but it's a nice little addition, so I left it there. And then I really wanted to use a bunch of these word stickers from the Simple Stories Let's Party sticker sheet. And I'm going to use 3 at the top and 3 at the bottom. And I'm trying to find ones that are, because this is a page of me, I didn't want to use ones that are addressed to other people. So like, there's one that says "You're the best" and something like that. I didn't want to put that on there because it's me scrapbooking a picture of me, and that would seem weird. So I'm trying to pick out generic ones like "Happy Birthday" or "Yippee" or something like that. And I'm also trying to balance out the colors. So I'm going to glue those hearts down now. And I'm also going to go ahead and glue down those sequins using my, I think it's Zig Rider two-way glue pen. I don't know, I still haven't figured out the two-way part of the glue pen, but it works fine. So I'm just using it. And then I really wanted to fit in that balloon, so I'm gonna try and add it as a banner, but then so I decided to stick it down there next to my words. That caused a problem though, because there were 2 blue stickers next to each other, so I'm gonna try to switch those out. I mean, there was a blue sticker next to the blue die cut. It was a bit too blue down there, so I tried to switch those out, but I don't know, I just didn't like it, but so I just left it as it is. I also tried to use a couple of these buttons. Now, I don't remember if I did this on camera, so I'm going to tell you now. I did end up leaving that blue balloon with the blue word sticker next to each other, but then there's a chipboard heart there to my right. I know you can barely see it, and I'm going to stick that over the balloon at some point. So here I'm doing some splatter in the abandoned coral. Well, about complete this layout. Now, I decided I'm not going to have photos at the end of videos anymore. I will be posting those on Instagram, so if you want to go ahead and check those out, be my guest. So thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to check back in all month long. I will have at least 1 video a day and some fantastic giveaways. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time.